Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion and Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, May 30th. This is Gina Palma. Over the last 30 days, the image on the left shows the percent of normal precipitation we've seen across the Great Basin. All areas have at least seen some light precipitation, but the precipitation has been well above normal over the southern half to two-thirds of the region. Over the last 60 days, we've still seen above normal precipitation across much of Utah, the eastern half of Nevada, and into southern Idaho. If we look at the recent snowfall over the last 72 hours, the image on the left shows the new snowfall on the higher terrain of Utah, Wyoming, and over into the eastern half of Nevada. Some areas saw over 6 inches of new snowfall. We've also seen quite a bit of lightning across the Great Basin, and this pattern of showers and thunderstorms will continue over the next 5 to 7 days. Current snow depth is in the image on the right, still well above normal snow depth across the Great Basin. Looking at our Great Basin fire activity, these larger or smaller pink dots show the prescribed fires over Utah and up into Idaho, and the yellow dots are the new wildfires that we've seen across the region. So very small fires. However, we are starting to see some pop up over parts of western and southern Nevada and also over southern Utah and some of the grassy areas. Looking at our current ERC conditions, ERCs are below the 50th percentile region-wide with the wet weather we continue to see. Looking at our ERC charts, really all across the basin, the charts on the right are representative, showing well below normal ERCs for the time of year with the wet weather that we, again, have seen fairly consistently across the region. And also these ERC values are well below what we saw this time last year. The satellite loop from this morning shows an area of low pressure over northwest Nevada up into northern California and Oregon. And this area of low pressure will be responsible for our weather over the next 5 to 7 days as it slowly moves south and east across the Great Basin, keeping showers and thunderstorms daily across the region in most areas. The only exceptions might be the eastern half of Utah, which might stay drier than the rest of the Great Basin. Now looking at the weather pattern for later today, again we'll continue with that area of low pressure affecting the Great Basin, with showers and thunderstorms expected in most areas with the exception of possibly eastern Utah. We're already seeing some showers and thunderstorms this morning across Nevada. We will see wetting rains with these thunderstorms over the next several days. Recently, they've been producing anywhere from a few hundredths of an inch of precipitation up towards over a quarter of an inch, depending on the strength of the thunderstorm. Dispersion will remain poor with the lighter winds over the northern half of the Great Basin and a little bit better with those southerly to southwest winds out ahead of the low pressure over southern areas of the basin. Again, you can see the wind image on the left. Winds a little bit stronger over southern Nevada, but still more in the moderate range. And mixing heights will remain high over northern and eastern areas and much lower across the northern two-thirds of Nevada closer to the area of low pressure. On Friday, this low just slides a little bit further south, again keeping showers and thunderstorms in most areas of the Great Basin with poor dispersion across the region. Winds still be a little breezy over southern Nevada, keeping that dispersion up just a little bit over the southern tip of the Great Basin. However, still again poor dispersion with lighter winds further north. Mixing heights again higher in the south and across Idaho, Wyoming into eastern Utah. By Saturday, this area of low pressure moves very little, again keeping most showers and thunderstorms over the western two-thirds of the Great Basin with poor dispersion. We will start to see winds increase from northern Arizona up into the Arizona Strip and southern Utah, also parts of far southern Nevada, so you may see a little bit of improvement with mixing heights and dispersion over those regions, but otherwise poor across the Great Basin. If we look at our 3-day forecast amounts of precipitation, which takes us through Sunday morning, you can see the widespread showers and thunderstorms producing some wetting rains, especially across Nevada, into the Sierra and western Idaho, closer to the area of low pressure. Further east and south, we will see lesser amounts of precipitation and lightning. As we go into Sunday, into next week, still are dealing with this area of low pressure on Sunday, so keeping showers and thunderstorms across the basin once again. However, we may see a little bit better dispersion over parts of Utah into the Arizona Strip. By Monday, this trough starts to move much further south and weakens, so we may still see some isolated showers and thunderstorms, but the overall coverage of lightning and showers will be decreasing as we go into early next week. We still will have fairly light winds and poor dispersion, especially over the western half of the Great Basin. On Tuesday, this low starts to move a little bit further east, but again doesn't have as much moisture as it had this week or over the weekend, so very isolated showers and thunderstorms across the Great Basin expected by Tuesday, with generally poor dispersion. By Wednesday, we will have another area of low pressure which will move into the Pacific Northwest, and this will allow winds to increase over the northern half of the Great Basin, and eventually this will allow winds to increase later next week over the rest of the basin as this trough slides further east. We also will start to see that shower and thunderstorm threat push a little bit further east. Temperatures, however, next week will be warming. We'll gradually see temperatures go up through the weekend, and by next week we'll see temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above normal across the Great Basin, with highs reaching the upper 90s in the south and the mid to upper 80s over parts of western and northern Nevada into northern Utah. So we will see quite a bit of drying with some of our fuels over the next several days when we get into next week. However, we will see yet another system move in by next weekend. Looking at our precipitation for days 4 and 5, taking us just from Monday through Wednesday next week. And again, still seeing the threat of showers and thunderstorms, but the amount of moisture will be quite a bit less, so we won't see as much wetting rain with these showers and thunderstorms as we get into next week. Fire potential is low across the Great Basin and will remain that way until we start to see more significant drying. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, taking us into the second week of June. Looking at above normal temperatures now, but still a wet pattern, especially over Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates. As a reminder, we are issuing these webcasts Monday through Friday through next week.